from this Monday night.
You got the power, baby.
It's SummerSlam. It's the World Wrestling Federation champion, Bret Hart, opposing you, Owen, inside this, a 15-foot high steel cage. And I might add, this is a very eerie feeling, just being surrounded by this cage.
Well, it is eerie, and you specially imagine fighting your own flesh and blood. You and me, Bret, all my life I've talked about what you've done to me, how bad you've been to me, how you ruined my childhood, how you picked on me. You know what I'm talking about, don't you, Bret? When you bullied me when I was a little boy, when we'd go into the dungeon, just you and me and Dad, you tried to hurt me, Bret. I was your little brother. But now I'm a big boy now, Bret. And I got you just where I want you. I have you at SummerSlam in a steel cage. Just you and me, Bret. There's nowhere to run. There's no escape. These are steel bars surrounding you and I. I'm gonna hurt you, Bret. A cage match, it won't be pretty. You ruined the fun when I was a little boy, Bret. And it's not fun anymore. It's gotten out of hand, Bret. And I beat you at WrestleMania. I beat you fair and square. But there was only one thing missing. The World Wrestling Federation title. You didn't have the belt. You won it later on that night, Bret. On your very best night, I beat you. And if the title was on the line, everything would be fine. But I had to wait till SummerSlam, Bret. I have you in a steel cage. I am going to beat you. I am going to do everything it takes to win that title.
There are only, as you know, two ways in which to win the steel cage match. Climb up on the top as you were, and go all the way down. And as you peer down, Owen, look at that. Look at that distance all the way down to the floor. Or there's another way. You could leave your opponent, in this case, your brother, hapless in the middle of the ring as you walk out that steel cage door and slam it shut. Only two ways. Are you up to the task, Owen? Are you up to the task?
I'm up for it, Bret. The question is, are you? And I don't think you are, because you're scared, Bret. You got fear in your eyes. You're terrified, Bret. And I know why, and you know why, Bret. Because you know I can beat you. I've done it once, and I'm going to do it again, Bret. And I am going to humiliate you, and I am going to hurt you. And, Bret, I have no other choice. You've ruined my childhood. You're not going to ruin my adult life, because I am going to beat you. I am going to take the World Wrestling Federation title, and everything that I stated before is all coming together. I said I would beat you at WrestleMania. I beat you, Bret. I said that I would become the king of the ring, and I am. I am the king of hearts. And, Bret, there's only one more thing missing, and that's all going to change. The World Wrestling Federation title will no longer be yours, Bret. It's over. It's over, Bret. It's all come to an end. You are finished. Come SummerSlam, there is going to be a new reign in the Hart family. It is going to be me, and the whole family is going to jump on my bandwagon. But this will be settled between you and me, Bret. Nobody is going to interfere. It'll be settled, and I am going to become the World Wrestling Federation champion. And I want you to take a look exactly how it's going to be on that hot summer night, Bret.
The King of Hearts, Owen. Will he be the next World Wrestling Federation champion?
Yeah! You're through.
Well, everybody, we're in Chicago, the Windy City, in this edition of the Squared Circle Time Machine, as we're heading to SummerSlam 1994 as Domino's delivers SummerSlam. Dane, are you in the mood for a Domino's pizza?
Oh, now that they've apparently improved the recipes, yeah, for sure.
I want to have pan pizza from Domino's. I want to have the new stuffed crust they have from Domino's. And we can just watch this pay-per-view together. It's going to be some fun times as Leslie Nielsen's going to find the Undertaker.
Sadly, the Noid was gone by this time. Sure, it would have been fun to see like someone dressed as the Noid come out and like annoy Jerry Lawler when they were setting up the cage.
That would have been awesome. You could have had the Noid with Dink.
Yeah.
Could have been sponsored by Yo Noid on the Nintendo.
Oh, yes.
So I got to make one correction from our last show. I mentioned the first event at the United Center was a charity basketball game that had Michael Jordan. No, SummerSlam was actually the first event. That charity basketball game was the last event at Chicago Stadium. And it was a charity exhibition game between Michael Jordan's team and Scottie Pippen's team. And Michael Jordan scored 52 points in a charity all-star game.
Now, hopefully the final score was something like 52 to like 48 or something to at least give Scottie Pippen.
Oh, it was 187-150 final score.
Oh, holy NBA All-Star score.
You know, if Mike's listening, he's probably thinking of who was coaching this game? Doug Moe? Okay, well, before we get to SummerSlam 1994, we got to mention the WWE PLEs on ESPN. They're starting early. They're starting next month.
That's crazy. They must have brokered one hell of a deal to get out of that with NBC Universal / Peacock.
Yeah. So next month, the first WWE PLE on the ESPN direct-to-consumer app is going to be WrestlePalooza from Indianapolis.
And no, it's not, as far as we know, has no connection to the ECW WrestlePalooza or even the name of the rest of the show on Married with Children called WrestlePalooza, where Bud Bundy as the Bumblebee faced King Kong Bundy.
Wonder how many stars Dave gave that match. I'm guessing we're going to have the Cena-Lesnar match to headline that.
That's been the long rumored thing once they announced that they were going to put up a counter-programming PLE to go against All Out right here in Toronto, Canada.
So I have a question. Do you think Brock will show up in the Clash at Paris match against Logan Paul with Cena?
That's what I'm hoping because we got only scant 3 weeks to build and not too much Cena time left either. So
yeah, I loved how last night he was complaining, I'm wasting a day to talk with you, Logan Paul. You just use us as a device so you can buy more Pokemon cards. And he just pushed the big Prime bottle sponsorship thing.
Oh no, the poor Prime hydration station. That was actually a fun promo of both Logan and Cena because we already had the doubling crowd already on Logan with the F you Logan chants, and he's like, they're gonna mute you anyways, you idiots.
You know, Logan Paul works as a heel because nobody likes him anyway, so it's like,
well, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Fuck him.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not never have been, and then probably never will be or even I don't even understand why him and his brother Jake ever got to any kind of popularity. But I'm just an old Gen X person who doesn't understand these crazy Gen Alpha kids.
Oh, these Zoomers.
Oh yeah.
Get the F out. As an elder millennial, get the F out, you freaking Zoomers.
Yeah.
Ruining everything. Okay, so we have a 4-way for the world title coming up in Clash of Paris. And that is Seth is going to be defending the title against CM Punk, LA Knight, and Jey Uso.
I see Rollins retaining because I don't see, but then it's like, are we hopefully going to get a sustained LA Knight push now finally now he's on Raw, but I can also now see like Roman coming in and causing chaos to build for them, and since he'll be there too against the tribal thief / the evil speakerhead Bronson Reed.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Talk about it a little bit now since the announcement of Naomi got Big Jim's Slim Jim, and we got ourselves a Baby Uso coming in about 9 months.
Oh man! So in 20 years, that kid's gonna be like the WWE champion.
Well, you already got, apparently the child already had its first title defense there at SummerSlam. So
Yeah, practicing early.
yeah, it's like now that the women's title vacated, and apparently Stephanie Vaquer still has a title shot. What's happening there? I wonder.
Are they just gonna wait till they crown a new champion? I don't know what the deal is.
Well, yeah, because I mean, if this was AEW, we'd have an interim champion, and Naomi comes back. I guess she said in the promo she'd come back breastfeeding the kid on her and beat up all these trifling heifers.
Now that'd be kind of hilarious. If that happens, she comes back like a year later. She's got her kid on her.
Yeah,
breastfeeding her kid while wrestling.
Or got one of those Jolly Jump or whatever, the baby Bjorn there.
Puts the kid in a stroller. And as we're recording this, tomorrow is NXT Wave.
As well as AEW / New Japan Forbidden Door.
I said last week it should be called AEW. We're going to rate all these wrestlers on our roster by next year.
Yeah. Although I will say, with it being in London, kudos to the AEW digital design team for nicking off the Stephen Moffat, Matt Smith, Peter Capaldi era Doctor Who design for the Forbidden Door logo this year.
Oh, yeah. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, and speaking of, oh my God, I think Dave Meltzer is going to be on Suicide Watch. Will Ospreay misses time.
Oh, poor Will. Who needs to be in their late 30s and having a functional neck?
No, not at all.
No,
as we all know, AEW has the best safety record neck injuries. Okay, now let's get into 1994. So we're at the United Center, the first ever event for the United Center. And it's weird because, Dane, I don't think WWF / WWE ever goes back to the United Center after this.
No, because I think I've always known them to do stuff from the Rosemont Horizon if they're in the Chicago area.
Yeah, I know AEW, of course, did the United Center when Punk debuted in 2021.
Yeah.
But it's like, they've never gone back. It's like they always do the Rosemont Horizon All-State Arena for whatever reason.
Yeah. I think for some reason I remember the WCW holding some Nitros from the United Center, so...
Okay, yeah, I do remember that. They might have held a pay-per-view there, too, if I remember.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure. Actually, let me look on Wiki here for the United Center. So, okay, United Center. It held Spring Stampede 2000.
Oh.
But actually, WWE did return to the United Center to do a house show on March 3rd, 2018.
Okay.
So, let's get into this pay-per-view. So we open, and guess who introduces us to the show? It's the Macho Man, Randy Savage.
Looking all dapper in a nice shiny red sports coat and hat and bow tie. He's our official host for SummerSlam.
Yeah, that's right. He was the host like years before we actually had hosts for these shows. And actually, this was, I think, the last pay-per-view WWE-wise for Randy, because he would go to WCW after this. He's not at Survivor Series, obviously.
Yeah.
So our hosts tonight are Vincent the King, and they run down the show, and we get started. All right, Dane, we're going to get ready. It's for the WWF Tag Team Championship. The Head Shrinkers against IRS and Bam Bam Bigelow. I just got handed a note here, Dane.
Uh-oh.
Apparently, Dane, the Head Shrinkers lost the tag team titles the night before the house show.
They lost the titles.
Yes, they lost them at a house show. And I'm looking,
to whom did they lose him to?
Diesel and Shawn Michaels?
Ooh, wait, what? Well, now we got 2-belt Diesel and Shawn Michaels finally get an actual tag team title.
Yeah, it didn't get overturned because some freaking ref couldn't handle the rope properly.
Now this match is just pretty much a big nothing burger now.
Yeah, it's like, who the frick cares about this match?
And which is weird because we have the head shrinkers coming out in nice tribal headgear.
Oh, yeah, those looked pretty sick. The
Yeah.
headgear they wore. But this sucks. This match is not for the title, so.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go with the Scott review for this match. Original booking had DiBiase's team winning the tag titles according to the observers at the time. But that, of course, changed pretty quick. Bigelow reverses a slam on Samu and goes up, but misses the headbutt, and the Shrinkers take over double team that gets 2 for Samu. Over to IRS, but Samu super kicks him for 2 and puts him on the floor. Back in the headbutt gets 2. Finally, Fatu comes in, and Bigelow pulls down the top rope and runs his head into the briefcase to take over. Well, that's only going to hurt a perfectly nice briefcase. Vince is like, boy, you'd think these guys would be a lot more worked up since they just lost the titles that night. Well, that's kind of a dick thing to say.
It's almost like they're mourning the loss of their titles.
Hot tag Samu when he runs wild with headbutts and gets 2 on IRS. The double stroke on IRS sets up Fatu's flying splash, but DiBiase takes the rev, and Bigelow beats on Albano. Alpha comes in clearly upset because his young son Roman failed his preschool entrance exam multiple times, despite getting chance after chance to get in. And he cleans house himself, and it's a DQ at 7:21. Then everyone went off in totally different directions at the next taping anyway. What a weird finish. Nothing to this one. 1.5 stars.
I mean, it would have meant more if there was for the titles, and I guess if it was true that DiBiase's team was supposed to get the titles here, would have made sense, but as it was just going back to the kind of the old style of the golden era. Just okay, well, disqualification, everyone brought to the back, and doesn't matter too much anyways. I think shortly after this, I think isn't this when Samu leaves or whatever, and then we get Barbarian subbing in for them as the new head shrinkers, and then they start wearing boots.
Oh, yeah. Remember when they were wearing boots? That was like one freaking great era of the head shrinkers right there. With Barbarian and Sione.
I'm sure old Rikishi would be whining about this now if he had a podcast at that time about having to drop the belt and.
Oh, yeah. Okay, well, we got to get going because Undertaker's search is on with Leslie Nielsen as he's on the trail of the Undertaker. And he's on the trail of the Undertaker because there's a sign that says Undertaker Trail that he's following.
That's convenient.
Yeah. And then he gets stopped, Leslie, by 2 guards. They're like, hey, you can't go in there. Let's see some ID. First of all, my name's not Buddy. And one guy's like, I know you. You're Lloyd Bridges. And the other guy's like, no. That's Peter Graves. But you play Lloyd Bridges. That's okay. You can go ahead.
Leslie Nielsen finding what could be the Undertaker, but no, it's the one co-star from the Naked Gun that's not actually facing felony homicide charges right now.
Yeah, it's George Kennedy.
And they do a little "Don't Call Me Buddy" thing as well too, and then they're standing on the case too, hand down, and they're actually standing on a briefcase of some sort.
Yep,
they're both on the case now.
Yeah, but then there's also they're going in different directions because the Undertaker trails lead them to different directions. Well, it's funny enough because we got George Kennedy in this because the role of Ed in the Naked Gun reboot is played by Paul Walter Hauser, who, of course, is a champion now in Progress Wrestling. So, yeah, it's funny enough wrestling connections continue in the Naked Gun universe 30 years later.
Oh, yes.
But okay, we got a WWF women's title match coming up as Alundra Blaze is defending her title against Bull Naka 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 No.
Yeah, or as the Fink announces her is Bull Nakano.
And of course, Bull is accompanied by Luna.
And also the surprisingly fitting for her the old Orient Express theme.
Yep. I kind of dug Bull's getup here. She kind of looked like a 1994 version of Carly Sane when she was the pirate.
Yep. Got the ruffled puffy, almost, yeah. And she also brings herself some nunchucks as well, too, apparently.
Oh, yeah. She was definitely watching some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles before doing this.
Fellow chucker, huh?
And of course, we got Alundra coming out. I would have sworn, like, at the time of this pay-per-view that we were going to have a title change here. That wouldn't come until later.
Yeah, and we also get as is tradition in Japan, both ladies get flowers from the respective flower girls.
Yeah.
But sadly, we don't get any streamers thrown. Or does that become a 2000s thing?
Something like that.
Although I think I still remember. I think the best part when they WWE did one of the shows. I think with the Beast in the East when it was, Finn Balor and Kevin just
threw the flowers
down in the way and just instant heat right there.
I was like, I don't have any time for these flowers. Fuck this. Okay. Now let's go to the Scott review. Bull immediately attacks and Blaze comes back with drop kicks, but misses one and gets hair tossed. Nia Jax should bring that one back. It would still get a huge reaction against someone like Bliss. Leg drop gets two. Bull chokes her out on the ropes, which draws Vince's most stinging indictment of the official. Come on, ref! Blaze reverses a powerbomb into a Rana for two and comes back with high kicks, but Bull chokes her down again as Vince is greatly displeased with the quality of the refereeing here. Boston Crab follows, but Blaze makes the rope, so Bull wraps her in a wacky submission hold until Blaze powers out. Bull takes her down again with a cross arm breaker, but Blaze comes back with some sling blades and tries a power driver. She'll break her hair, McMahon, but Bull backdrops out. Backslide gets two, but she walks into a powerbomb that gets two for Bull. Nakano goes up and misses a leg drop, and the German suplex retains at 8:20. This was all action, and even though the fans weren't really hip to Bull submission stuff, they kept the crowd well, 3 1/4 stars.
That should have been the opener, in my opinion. Especially if they were going to have Alundra retaining, and had also a nice little USA chant as well too from the crowd.
Yeah, I think this would have been much better to put first than the Head Shrinkers Ira's Bam Bam match, especially since it wasn't for the belts. But whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, so we go backstage to Todd interviewing Diesel and Shawn Michaels. And of course, they recap that the night before at the house show in Indianapolis, Diesel and Shawn beat the Head Shrinkers. So now Diesel's got 2 belts.
And Shawn is just being a massive prick around with Todd.
Yeah. And this was kind of shocking with Diesel and Shawn won the belts because it was like, I don't think Shawn had wrestled on TV since WrestleMania.
Yeah, like, was he injured legitimately, or what was the story going?
I have no idea. Maybe he had like some stupid Lloyds of London deal like Mr. Perfect had. I don't know.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, yeah, because I remember around this time too that because like he's doing like his interview segment show the Heartbreak Hotel on Superstars or Raw once in a while.
Actually, my favorite part is during the ring introduction as Diesel's coming out. You see Diesel out in front first.
Yeah.
He's raising his fist. And then all of a sudden, Shawn, like a dick, comes like sliding in over him.
Sliding in. Look at me. Pay attention to me.
What could that be hinting towards, Dane?
We're already getting a dissension angle already?
Huh? Oh, okay.
Okay, well, that's
weird.
Not even day as champs and they're already teasing dissension. Okay, then.
But I will say it's awesome seeing Diesel holding the 2 belts.
Oh, yeah.
Even if we only get it for a day, that was still awesome.
Yeah.
And now we get Razor coming out, accompanied by Sweetness Walter Payton to a big pop from the Chicago crowd here. And I don't need to tell you, Dane, Walter Payton, being a member of the Super Bowl champion 85 Bears, pretty much is still to this day, even almost a quarter century after his untimely passing, still like one of the most legendary Chicago Bears of all time.
Oh, yeah. Although, as we'll maybe talk more during or after the match, he didn't add really too much to it other than for the finishing sequence. But what if they got Sour, whatever his deal? They could have had Mongo in there.
Yeah, they could have had Mongo there a year. Although I think at this time, I think Mongo might have been in his last season because he was with the Packers in his last season, actually.
Okay.
Actually, there's a famous, funny Mongo segment where I think an interview he did about when he played for the Packers his last season. He was like, I played against the Packers for 12 seasons and I kicked their ass. And then for the last season I played with them, I took their money and I kicked their ass again too.
Oh, Mongo.
We miss you, Mongo. Okay. Let's go to Scott for the review. Razor has Walter Payton signaling him to really make the result obvious here. Razor chases Diesel out of the ring to start, and they slug it out. But Razor misses a blind charge and hits Diesel's elbow. Diesel with a Nash choke in the corner to take over, and he grabs the sleeper, but Razor suplexes out of it. Real talk. Who would watch Diesel here getting an okay reaction from a super hot Chicago crowd and think, next Hulk Hogan? He tosses Razor and Shawn, undoes a turnbuckle. Yeah, that plays heavily into this match, I think, the undoing of the turnbuckle by Shawn.
Yeah.
But Payton chases him off. Ooh, I bet that exposed steel factors in later. Foreshadowing.
Apparently a callback to how Diesel won the title.
Oh, that's right. I didn't even remember that. Yeah, that was how Diesel won it on Superstars.
Yeah, I think Vince even mentioned that in the commentary, so.
Why would Shawn do that again, though? You'd think Razor would see that coming.
Yeah.
Razor goes after Shawn as well, but Diesel clobbers him on the floor and pounds him with knees in the corner. Shawn takes the ref, so Diesel runs Razor's back into the exposed steel and gets a side slam for 2. Snake eyes and he chokes Razor out and drops the elbow for 2. Razor makes a comeback, but Diesel cuts him off with a big boot for 2. Over to the abdominal stretch, but Diesel gets caught holding the ropes, which allows Razor to get his own. Oh no, he didn't. Diesel quickly escapes, and he tries Snake Eyes in the exposed steel, but Razor rolls him up for 2 and makes the comeback. He yanks Diesel into the post and goes up with a flying bulldog for 2. Slam gets 2. Shawn gets nailed and takes the best bump of the match, flying into the railing like Brian Pillman. Diesel tries to powerbomb, but Razor escapes that, and then Shawn distracts him again, and Diesel puts him down with a shoulder lock. And then, okay, Shawn tries running again. Walter Payton tries to stop him, but Walter gets distracted by the ref. So the ref's dealing with Walter Payton. And then Shawn comes into the ring as Diesel is holding Razor. And what happens, Dane?
Oh, well, we got Shawn trying to nail Razor with some sweet chin music, but fortunately, Razor ducks and Shawn gets Diesel instead.
Oh my God. You don't want to see that.
No.
Especially with the tag champions, Dane.
Yeah. Miscommunication on the first day of your reign. Not a good sign.
No. So Razor covers, gets the 1, 2, 3. And for the second time, Razor's the Intercontinental Champion. And Scott gave this 2.5 stars. He said it was about 5 minutes too long for Diesel.
Ooh.
You know what? I'd say this was 3 stars. This was kind of an exciting match. I kind of dug the story out of it.
Crowd being into it as well too helped, and having Chicago Bears legend Sweetness himself there helped as well. And of course, somehow Shawn makes himself the center of attention without actually being in the match.
Although, Dane, Diesel's kind of pissed at Sean.
Well, I'd be too. I mean, I just lost my one singles title, but I'm still tag team champion for now? Question mark?
Yeah. Hopefully that doesn't factor in. I hope they don't have more problems like this, Dane, going forward as the tag champs.
If they're in another situation where there's more miscommunication and they both decide to throw away the titles afterwards.
All right. So now we're going to go back to Todd Pettingale in the fake ass locker room with Lex Luger and Tatanka. So, all right. We have the big match here. Now, I mentioned, Dean, in the last episode, they had a special 1-900 number to call about whether you thought Lex Luger sold out or not. And, well, the results were in. 54% of the WWF audience in 1994, Dean, are absolute dumb shits.
They thought Lex had sold out.
Yeah.
Well, normally you would have a 50-50 chance of him selling out, but he's a bit of a genetic freak as well, too. So would that somehow double the effect of his factor of selling out?
I don't know. Scott's, I don't think, is in the company anymore, so we can't ask for his advice on the math.
Yeah.
Okay, Tatanka, he's like, 54% of the people said you sold out in this great country bars. Now I'm going to show you all the evidence that you sold out. Look at this match here. You sold out. Look at that. $1 Million Man gave you a dressing room with money. That shows you sold out. Look at the match against Crush. You had some money. You sold out. Sold out. Sold out. So you see, Dane, he said that 50,000 times.
Mm-hmm.
That proves he's telling the truth.
I'm convinced. I mean, why would... So far, Tatanka hasn't given me a reason not to believe him. At least 54% of the fans thinking that he sold out, so the odds aren't in your favor there, Lexi.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still, he's got 46% behind him, so I don't know what to think, Dean. Lex is like, oh, well, he doesn't look like he's sold out, but Tatanka says he sold out because he said it like 50,000 times, so it must be true.
Yeah, and then Lex makes a kind of a weird, lame defense. Tatanka is free to think that way. The people are free to think while they think. We're in the land of the free, freedom, oi.
Okay.
Okay, well, that's not really defending yourself there that much there, Lex, but I'm guessing your match will prove us one way or the other.
Yeah, we're going to get to the truth to this. Okay, here we go. Here's this review from Scott. Lex gets a very muted reaction here as this DiBiase angle really flattened him out for good. They trade shoulder blocks and Tatanka works the arm. Vince says at one time, well, I don't know if you'd call them friends, but they certainly were acquaintances. Way to sell the angle, Vince.
Well, come on. They actually, Tatanka was on his team for the Survivor Series before he got, I don't know, was he actually legitimately injured or is it just an injury angle that they did? And then they decided to recruit Undertakers so that they could have the build for Taker and Yokozuna. So they would have at least had some semblance of, well, maybe that could have been a better reasoning for what would happen later on. I mean, maybe Lex didn't come visit Tatanka.
Oh, yeah, they could have done the Macho Crush thing.
Yeah.
But that would mean Dane Tatanka would be lying.
No way. Could he be lying?
I don't know, Dane. He's so confident that Lex Luger sold out. So I don't know why he's lied to us.
No, his confidence has assured me that this is not going to be that Lex is sold out.
Lex comes back with a hip toss out of the corner and a suplex for two. Well, of course, Scott. Lex is an expert at the hip toss. Just as Yokozuna. Tatanka with a power slam for two. He gets some chops for two and goes up following a suplex with a flying chop of doom for two. Lex comes back with some clotheslines as Ted DiBiase finally comes out. Lex yells at him like a geek until Tatanka rolls him up for the pin at 6 minutes. Okay, Dane, so here we go. Okay, Scott rated the match 1.5 stars. So Lex and the $1 Million Man. They're arguing here, and Lex kicks the money out of Ted's hands. So I guess that proves it. Lex didn't sell out. But wait a second. What that would mean?
Wait, you don't think?
Oh no, Dane. Tatanka is sold out to the $1 Million Man.
Why, Tatanka? Why?
Why? Next thing you know, what's next? The freaking $1 Million Man's gonna buy Santa Claus?
Well, no, I have it on good authority from Savio Vega that Santa is a good hombre.
Oh, good. That's
And
the
there's
last
no-
thing we want.
Yeah, that's the last thing we want is a Santa Claus who sells out.
I can't believe it. Why would Tatanka do that to us, Dane?
I think even more flummoxed afterwards. We see Gorilla Monsoon manning the SummerSlam hotline, being all flummoxed by this.
Oh, Gorilla's fucking pissed.
Well, we are awaiting here in the hotline room the appearance of either the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, or the Native American, the Native Turncoat, I should say, who sold out here to Money Incorporated. Well, just disgusting. We can't believe what we've witnessed here. Tatanka, you are a disgrace to all Native Americans. Sooner or later, you're going to have to pay the piper. We're waiting here. Chief Jay Strongbow was pacing up and down on the corner. I don't know whether Tatanka will make it into our room or not. We'll have to wait and find out. Back to you, Vince.
And apparently, I guess Chief Jay Strongbow was backstage pacing back and forth, mad about this as well.
Yeah, of course, because Chief Jay Strongbow, being a Native American, Dane, he's not going to take this. Wink, wink.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
I don't know how we're going to react going forward to this after the shocking news Tatanka lied to us and sold out.
Although DiBiase is building himself a nice little corporation, a team.
Oh, yeah. I bet this will go well, like the 2011 Philadelphia Eagles, in terms of the talent he's assembled.
Well, you got the big Bam Bam Bigelow there. You got at least a competent in-ring wrestler in the IRS, and now you got yourself a purebred Native American in Tatanka.
And Nikolai Volkov, for some reason.
Oh, I forgot about what about poor Nikolai Volkov on this, wearing the
scent fucking
scent,
warm-up team.
the scent sports coats and property of $1 Million Man on his butt cheeks.
By the way, if any of you got the 2011 Philadelphia Eagles joke with the $1 Million Corporation, congratulations. Okay, so we have a big matchup here. As I said last week, Dane, main event anywhere in the country, Double J against Mabel.
Quick question, where is Mo?
I don't know. Maybe Mo is taking the sights of Chicago tonight.
Because I remembered for some reason this was like Mabel getting some weird singles push around this time, and I think I remember mentioning at the end of the last episode where I remembered seeing a tag match between Yokozuna and Crush versus Mabel and Typhoon for some reason.
Yeah.
I mean, we know in 95 where we go with Mabel and all that nonsense. Was Vince already thinking, this 500-pound black man, I'm going to make a main eventer out of him somehow.
I'm going to make him a main eventer, damn it. I will say, though, I think the big mistake was turning him heel and not giving him his cool-ass entrance music.
Yeah.
Because then you just got that stupid-ass siren. That was freaking terrible.
Yeah. But now we're going to get ourselves the greatest battle in terms of music, rap versus country, apparently.
So who do you think's going to win? You think rap's going to win, or you think country's going to win?
It's middle America, so it's hard to... But this is like what white people think rap music is, so...
Oh, yeah, so they're pretty much divided here.
Yeah.
All right, here's the Scott review. Once again, I would like to stress that although I enjoy the rap stylings of Jay-Z and Kanye West... No, Scott! No. not the ladder.
Whoa.
No.
No, stop right there. Might as well meant being a Diddy fan there too, Scott.
I have no effing idea what Oscar's saying at any point.
Although in fairness, the crowd didn't seem to mind. Like, actually, there was a nice shot of like the whitest white woman you ever saw with her kid at ringside, just waving her hands around like she didn't just care.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Nice rap for the white people to enjoy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Mabel no-sells an armbar while Lower points out that Mabel resembles Barney, which is referencing an infamous rib that guys would pull in the dressing room, where everyone would gather around Mabel and sing the Barney song to him. What the fuck?
I would have gone more of referring to him as Grimace, like.
Oh, with the purple, yeah.
Yeah.
But this isn't like 2025 where everyone like associates fat and purple with Grimace.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this was like 30 years before Grimace would gain fame after throwing out the first pitch at a Mets game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But I still want to know about this, like, everyone, the boy. I mean, I know 94. I mean, we're far beyond the years of like Mr. Perfect ripping up the Rougeau's clothes and then trying to blame it on the Bulldogs, where Dynamite Kid gets in a row with Jacques and Raymond, and then so in retaliation, Jacques sucker punches Dynamite Kid with.
Oh yeah, as made famous on Turk's side of the ring. I love the story Jacques tells about that. That's the fucking greatest story of all time.
I still don't understand how was that supposed to ingratiate. I mean, there again, we're also like at least a few years away from the Click and Bone Street crew and the Red Handkerchief guys as well too, calling the shots in the locker room. So,
oh yeah. Oh, hold on a second. Speaking of BSK, I want to mention Dane. I don't know if you saw that video I sent about Myers going to the one toy store that I go to sometimes out in Long Island. But at that toy store, he got a signed Yokozuna figure.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it has on the inscription BSK 95 on it.
Oh.
Yeah, apparently the story was Yokozuna and Kama were signing at a McDonald's.
Oh, okay.
That's the story behind it. I guess it was at 95 because that explains why he put BSK 95 on it. Which, I'm going to be honest, who the fuck would know what that meant in 1995?
Well, enough people for Taker to make BSK beanies for his Survivor Series team at 95.
Okay, let's get back to the match here. Mabel clotheslines Jarrett to the floor, but Jarrett comes back with a flying fist and some elbows. Mabel sells nothing, then shrugs off Jarrett's punches. So Double J gets a sleeper and keeps reapplying it until Mabel shrugs him off and hits a leg lariat for two. A power slam gets to. Jarrett bails and Oscar and Mabel double team him as they're supposed to be the baby faces, but Mabel thankfully misses the splash of the ring and Jarrett gets two. Jarrett tries the sunset flip, but Mabel blocks and then misses the butt splash and Jarrett gets the pin at 5:56. I have no idea what the point of this match was supposed to be, but Mabel looked awful, completely immobile and not selling anything. Well, at least they gave up on that Mabel singles push. Ahem. -1 star.
Yeah, it was. I mean, Jarrett tried to make something out of it, at least.
Yeah. Oh, hold on a second, Dane. I'm going through the match here on Peacock. Abe Knuckleball Schwartz shows up in the crowd with an eyeball strike sign. Get that garbage out of here. Get that garbage out of here.
Send Timu Mr. Met away.
That's an insult to Mr. Met comparing freaking Steve Lombardi to him.
Maybe Mr. Red then? I remember there was a bit of a dispute between the Reds and the Mets of who was first in terms of being a mascot.
Yeah, well, fucking Mr. Red. Get that shit out of here. Listen, It's Mr. Met and Mrs. Met. Those are the only two baseball head mascots I recognize. So we have coming up the big steel cage match between Bret and Owen Hart. But before that, we have Leslie and George out in the crowd, and they're out the entranceway trying to find the Undertaker.
Yes.
And wait, hold on. There's a shadowy. Oh, there's the Undertaker. But they're like, what? Huh?
What? The crowd's like, behind you, like pantomime play.
Oh, well, they're going to keep trying to find the Undertaker, I guess.
Yeah.
So we have the video package for the Bret Owen match, and we have the interview that talked about last week between Bret at the Sunday Night Slam. And then, oh, wait, there's a King's Court from 3 weeks ago on Raw.
Oh, yes.
Where Bruce got pissed at freaking Owen and Jim.
You're both disgraces to the family. Bruce, I mean, as far as I know, Owen didn't allegedly groom students that ended up becoming your wife, so...
Yeah, that happened.
Yeah, and best part yet, or bad part about that, was that's who ended up leaving Bruce for Davey Boy in his final sad months of life.
Oh, God. Well, that's more depressing than I thought.
Yeah, we're going to get into quite the Hart lore here, I think.
Oh, yeah. So, okay, we have Vincent King. They're going up to Stu and Helen. And Vince is like to Helen, could you have ever imagined that it was going to come down to this between Bret and Owen inside the steel cage out? And she's like, no, not my wildest imagination did I ever think it. I think it's a fever that's possessed Owen, and I just hope he recovers from it someday.
God bless Helen.
What is it, like an RFK Jr. brainworm that's possessed Owen?
For all we know, it could have been. I mean, I don't know what weird parasites exist in the Bow River of Calgary, so... And of course, they decided to ask Stu, who is already now morphing into... He's the Mando Bomb, in terms of old man slurring speech.
He's like, I'm hoping the best that's will come out is heavy.
The best going to come out of this match, that's all I know.
It would be heavy.
He comes out, I'm going to get in there and stretch him and prove I'm the best wrestler.
Fucking Jerry's delivering a master class. He's like, it's all your fault. It's all your fault. You're all thrown to this.
And again, God bless. I mean, I think we've talked many times that I guess like Helen always loved the fact that Jerry Lawler would just lay into her with the insults and stuff. And she's just there smiling and corpsing almost. Send for the man. Oh, wait, Macho's where? Where's Macho?
But, hold on a second. We got the entire family. But, we got somebody returning, Dane.
And here's another one I'm going to have to look back because I'm trying to think whether or not this was around the time, because I know I'm trying to think if it was like just shortly after WCW or somewhere around his WWF return that Davey Boy was facing himself some extradition and criminal charges in Calgary.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, the story was, and in an interesting foreshadowing to his feud with Shawn Michaels in 96, him and Diane were at some nightclub or bar or whatever, and some drunken guy was trying to put the moves on Diana, and Davey smacked the crap out of him. Enough that they tried to press assault charges on him.
That's bullshit. Like, he was making a pass on his wife, for crying out loud. What was he supposed to do?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think the charges got dropped enough that I guess, that he still at least has a career there. So I think even Bret kind of mentioned in his book that Davey was gone for a bit because he had to deal with that case in court.
But okay, I love that also tucked behind all the rest of the family members is Jim.
Jim Neidhart is almost on the outside looking in with the family.
Yeah, he's like by himself next to this dad with his kid.
And then also we got Glory Hog Bruce himself there.
Oh yeah, fucking Bruce Hart. He's trying to fucking get all the attention for himself.
Yeah. Let's see how you'll mess this up somehow, Bruce.
Wait just a minute. Jim the Anvil Neidhart.
Yes!
Jim the Anvil Neidhart, your thoughts of this steel cage and you sitting here among all the other family members, how do they feel about you sitting right here among them?
Well, you know, it's all on the family, but I think everyone's going to really see who the best Hart is of all, who the best is. Everyone here is going to see that Owen Hart is going to be the next world heavyweight champion.
Right. He's the king of hearts already.
And he's the best Hart of all, the best wrestler. And you know something? I think that Stu Hart did drive Owen to this greatness.
Oh, wait just a moment, please. Right. I mean, it must be very difficult for all of you, the family members sitting here, the steel cage match, and you trying to be so divisive here.
It's minding my own business. I'm cheering
He's
Owen
part of the
on
family
because he's the best.
Well, nonetheless,
Bully my friend his whole life.
just calm down, will you please? Let me make a point, if you don't mind, all right? And the point simply is this cage is being constructed normally to keep the competitors inside the ring. However, in this case, knowing the temperaments here, I think to a certain extent it's constructed to keep a lot of you Harts outside of the case. And Bruce, you may be the most volatile of them all.
Yeah, if I see Neidhart go anywhere near that ring, I'm going to do something about it. You're not getting close to it, Neidhart. You're the guy who broke up the family in the first place. You're the guy who caused the big split. You're not going to pull anything tonight.
Don't try to blame him. Why don't you look up on the front row at your parents?
All right,
It's your own parents.
thank you very much.
But then we get like a really good Bret promo backstage with Todd.
Yeah. And we also get, I think, Todd stating that Bret is just coming off a case of strep throat.
Yeah, so Bret says that this is an ugly fight and I'm going to beat you, brother. And I just hope that after this, you can live with it. So here we go, Dane. It's the big blue bar cage.
And we get specified, at least this time, that the only way to win is escape from the top and out or through the door, and both feet must touch the ground. But no other body parts. So,
no other body part. It's a good thing Jesse's not calling this because, you know, he'd be pissed if someone went through the door.
Yeah. Or depends, because, I mean, I see heels using the door more so than like a face. That might have been what Jesse's point of contention was. I mean, Priest was the face in that match, and he just casually walked out. You can see, like, maybe Drew, like, constant, like, as we'll see in this match, mad dash for the door between everyone, so...
Yeah. So, I'm going to go to Scott here for the review of the title match. The Hart family plus Jim and Davey Boy are all at ringside, which gives Bruce a chance to get some TV and put himself over. And oh boy, does he ever, Scott.
Yeah.
Owen attacks the start and they slug it out with Owen pounding him down, but Bret gets a DDT and tries for the door already. Owen grabs the tights, so Bret climbs the cage instead. Owen has to haul him down again and puts him down with the enziguri. He climbs, but Bret pulls him down and puts him down again. Then goes for the door, and they have a pretty vicious scrap in the door while Bret pulls on Owen's face to keep him in. Bret climbs and Owen slams him back in, and then he sprints up the cage and actually makes it over to the top before Bret pulls him in by the hair. Owen sends him to the mat and falls with a missile dropkick, and then he lunges for the cage again. It almost gets out before Bret catches him again. See, the rules of the match are that the first person to escape wins, so they're actually trying to escape instead of just working a normal match. How about that? And you know what? I actually do like the way this match works because they're trying to get the hell out of the cage and win the match.
Yeah. So that's the point of this. Because then when you add more layers to it of like either pinfall or submission or no, that just makes things needlessly complicated.
Yeah, as we'll see in a couple of months when we get to the Halloween Havoc cage match.
Yeah.
As much as I enjoy that match, it's kind of like the complete opposite of this match.
Yeah.
They slug it out on the top rope, and Bret tosses him down and goes for the escape. but Owen recovers and yanks him down. Bret escapes the pile driver, but they collided. Both are out. Owen revives first and goes for the door, but Bret pulls him in and then climbs to the corner, and Owen has to cling his foot before dropping him on the top rope to save. Owen goes for the door, but Bret pulls him back in and he goes up, but misses an elbow from the top. Owen goes over the top, but Bret grabs a knee pad to stop him, and then grabs the hair to prevent him from going over the top. So he slams Owen, and now he goes over the top, but Owen desperately hauls him back in with a Samoan drop. Bret sends him into the cage and climbs, making it halfway down the cage to the floor, but Owen grabs the hair through the cage and pulls him back in again with a backdrop suplex off the ropes. Owen back up the cage, but Bret follows him up, and they slug it out and both go down this time. Bret dives for the door, and he's pulling on the stairs and kicking Owen in the face trying to get out, but Owen clings desperately to his leg, and they roll around on the mat punching each other. Almost as if this was a real match. They were both desperately trying to win or something. Bret catapults him into the cage and goes for the door again, but Owen catches the foot and keeps him in. Then whips him into the corner. Bret runs Owen into the cage, but his knee gives out on him. He still climbs the cage, but Owen pulls him in and hits the leg lariat. And then he immediately goes for the door, but Bret blocks him. So they fight up the cage, and Bret sends him into it and goes over the top again. They collide, and Owen goes running up the cage in the corner, but Bret blocks him with a superplex, and both guys are out. Bret crawls for the door first, but Owen grabs the foot and then puts him in the sharpshooter, which Bret reverses. Bret climbs again, but Owen grabs the hair again, and they both go down. Owen recovers first and gets halfway down the cage, but Bret follows him down, and they fight on the side of the cage until Owen gets tangled in the bars, and Bret drops down to retain at 32 minutes. Still the best WWF-style cage match ever, because the entire match was focused on them actually trying to win based on the rules of the match. 5 stars.
The Mania match was a bit better, I thought, but more so because it had also the shock factor that Owen won. And the fact that the crowd was into it as well, too. The whole, everyone, they were popping every time Bret would try to get at the door, and then booing when Owen dragged him back in, and vice versa, when Owen would try to get out through the door, and Bret drags him in, almost like actual siblings fighting.
Yeah. And, I was very into this match when I saw it live in 1994, and I thought this was, one of the best matches I'd ever seen. And still is one of the best matches I've ever seen.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's deserved to be in the top 5 spot there of the 25 best SummerSlam matches.
Oh, you mean the top 5 the SummerSlam matches of all time?
Yeah, the SummerSlam, yes.
We want to be nice to Bret here and refer to it as
the SummerSlam, yeah.
But okay, after the match here.
Oh, yes. Now we get into
all the good shit. The Hart celebrating, and then freaking Anvil sneakily jumps over the freaking barricade.
As well as clotheslining both Davey and Diana over the barricade as well, too.
Yeah, I can understand Davey, but it's freaking Diana too? Really?
That's probably her second best bump that she's taken. Her first bump, of course, being saving Terry when the beating from Richard Pound there in Stampede Wrestling.
Oh, oh my God. Diana did a bump for Principal Richard Pound.
Yeah, both her and Georgia.
Oh. I bet Bad News love that shit.
Oh, yeah. He's good. Good for those stupid Hearts. Sticking her nose in that match.
Probably the most happiest Bad News ever was since he accused Jack Tunney of doing favors for Elizabeth.
Yeah. Or recounting the fact that he was glad to break Archie the Stomper's son's collarbone because Archie was secretly a grand wizard of
the KKK. Yeah. Freaking Bad News was a freaking goddamn hero. I don't think anyone talks about that.
Hell, he got Andre as well, Andre the Giant, on the tour to quit using the N-word so casually.
Yeah, so we should give Bad News some respect. He was going after the freaking bigots in professional wrestling.
For sure, yeah. Although, as I watched, because it was the WrestleFest 1988 there, I was recently uploaded to the Vault channel, and we had the continuation of their feud from WrestleMania 4 of Bad News Brown and Bret Hart after the Battle Royal that Bad News had won, but Bret was mad about that and broke his trophy. And then we have a superstar Billy Graham on commentary constantly referring to Bad News Brown as the Bad News Man. And I'm really thinking, why not give him an Evo Newsy gimmick?
Yeah, that would have been awesome.
Yeah, I got some bad news for all you beer-bellied sharecroppers.
Would have been Bad News Barrett 35 years early.
Exactly. Anvil has knocked over Davey and Diana. He's now got Owens beating down Bret afterwards, and both Jim and Owen drag Bret back into the cage, and Jim has got himself a padlock and a chain to lock the door. All the Hart brothers are trying to climb over the cage and try to save Bret, and even Davey Boy finally wakes up and gets in there, and I think it was a non-gimmick chain too, because I think they had to use like a bolt cutter to open it. It was no fake-ass chain there that's like Jacob Fatu broke there at SummerSlam, or those poor zip ties that Lyra Valkyria had to try and gimmick her way out of them.
So, okay, Todd tries to catch up with Owen and Anvil backstage. He's like, my family, they're not fresh in blood. They're turned their back on me. What the hell do you call that?
Enough is enough. That might come in handy somewhere down the road for you, Owen. They turned their backs on me.
Yeah.
But now they're going off to celebrate because apparently Owen thinks he won somehow.
No, you didn't win, Owen. Your freaking legs got caught in the freaking bars.
Got caught in the bars. And you had to have Jim come and help you beat down Bret afterwards.
Yeah. Well, thank God it's not freaking 2025 and they'd have to fucking sell this shit on social media.
Oh, God. Such a weird... I mean, on one hand, I'm glad they're trying to at least keep kayfabe alive, but on the other hand, it's like...
Oh, yeah,
social media.
You look so stupid when you do that. Okay, yeah. I'm going to get into something I talked to you about. The whole thing with, like, the Young Bucks and, like, them pretending to not have any money.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm supposed to believe that the Young Bucks never saved any of their money?
Do they not have, like, investment bankers in Cucamonga, California?
I guess not, Dane.
Wouldn't their wives at least know how to manage money?
Do their wives have jobs?
I thought one of them ran the merchandise, AEW merchandise, which explains why it's almost next to nothing to get any kind of merchandise, apparently.
Well, at least you can get those Young Buck shirts for $20 now.
Yeah. Or you can also get the Kyle Fletcher.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh, do I really have... Okay. The Kyle Fletcher TNT title t-shirt. Oh God, I can't believe I'm saying this. It looks like something Eastern Gary would wear from the Ambiguously Gay duo. It is the most erotic t-shirt I've seen since the Sin Cara t-shirt.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Who would wear that in public?
I'm perplexed too. I mean, and here we question many times, like, who would have worn either the China Syndrome or the Bot China t-shirt in public?
Well, we still got one match to settle. It's going to be The Undertaker against The Undertaker. Wait, hold on a sec. Yeah, I'm still confused about how this match is going to go down.
I'm confused as well, too. Like, as we get the recap, I mean, Undertaker apparently died at the Royal Rumble. We also get the recap of as we saw from Sunday Night Slam there. We got the nice recap of all the Undertaker sightings. Plus, I think we got a couple of other ones that we didn't see. Like we had the
the little kid.
The little kid.
Yeah. He was like, I saw him slide down the slide.
It's almost like thinking on like The Simpsons when Santa's little helper got into school vent system. And Ralph is like, Miss Hoover, there's a dog in the vents. Ralph, remember the last time you said you saw a Snagglepuss outside? He had to go to the bathroom.
Could you imagine the Undertaker being like, I want to slide down the slide, kid.
Yeah.
Fucking being all tall and shit and going down the slide being like, wee.
That or on one of those, like the pommel horse type thing that it's like a duck or something, or swinging back and forth on that. In full gimmick gear as well, too.
Oh, yeah. And meanwhile, while he's on that, he's eating one of the coffin-shaped donuts.
Yep. And then, yeah, we got a little bit more backstory as well, too, in terms of once DiBiase promised that he was bringing back The Undertaker, and more from Paul Bearer. That's not my Undertaker! I would know what he looks like! I've tried to speak with them from beyond, and that is not him! And he's actually going like he goes to like a cemetery as well, too, to try and get to the bottom of this. And then we also had the replay of thing from Raw there on the Heartbreak Hotel with DiBiase's Undertaker grabbing Paul Bearer, getting him set for the Guzzo, and then we got the lights going off and Paul's in front of the entranceway, and then we get another thing the week before, I guess, on Superstars, we got a nice video wall promo from Paul Bearer again. But this time we actually get a voice message from The Undertaker.
Oh.
Yeah. He's like, basically like, your reckoning is coming. Get more spooky lighting effects, and we actually get on the video wall, like the Undertaker's JPEG background thing with the casket that has like Undertaker on it.
All right, so here we go. It's the two Undertakers, Dane, going at it. So we have DiBiase bringing out his Undertaker, and then Paul Bearer comes out, and he's bringing out some druids with a casket that says "Rest in Peace."
Yep, the double wide, double deep casket.
So the casket opens, and out comes a giant ass urn.
That's not an urn. That's almost like a freaking copper vase.
Yeah, it's a vase almost. They painted gold.
Yeah. And of course, the Jerry Lawler on commentary is like, I told you there was no one. Paul Bearer's got nothing. He's just got an urn in there. That's not The Undertaker.
So he opens the urn, and there's a giant light that's coming out of the urn.
I almost thought that it was gonna like I almost act like, like the ghost traps from Ghostbusters and like suck in like DiBiase and his Undertaker into it.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say it was kind of like when they opened the Ark of the Covenant in Raiders of the Lost Ark, and then you could have saw Ted's face melt off.
That'll be the fate save for him later when him and his other son commit welfare fraud in Mississippi during the COVID.
Oh God. So, we have, oh my God, it's the real Undertaker, Dane, and he's coming out to new music.
A new mix of his theme.
Yes.
Jim Johnson woke up and decided, hey, this needs some more lightning effects and wind effects. So, yeah.
And you know how it's a different Undertaker from Ted DiBiase's Undertaker, Dane?
The purple gloves.
Yeah, the purple gloves. He's wearing purple now.
Yeah.
And really, when you think about it, Dane, this is the birth of the iconic Undertaker that we know.
Yep.
But I love that both of the Undertakers are taking off like their jackets.
They take off their jacket. They almost do like am I seeing double? spot there, like that was done by the two Doinks, and recently with John Cena and R-Truth backstage. But here, yeah, I'm seeing double too. 4 Undertakers.
And also we have Vince saying, it's like looking in a mirror, but for some reason Vince says, it's like looking in a mirror. He can't say mirror well. Just like how frickin' George W. Bush can't say nuclear. He says it nuclear.
Nuclear.
But King's like, they are identical. And Vince is like, no. I think there's only one Undertaker.
But there's 2 of them in the match right now, Vince.
I know, but Vince is saying, no, I think we know who the real one is. That other one is a phony. A big fat phony.
Big fat phony. Yes. Now go back to Smoky Mountain after this, or go find your way to ECW, and then don't come back here until 97 with Crush decides bringing in his motorcycle gang / White Brotherhood pals to fight the Nation of Domination.
Like, what the fuck happened with Brian Lee in the DOA? I guess freaking Paul Ellery said, we don't need him in the DOA.
He's not a twin. I'm not going to be able to program 2 brains at once here.
Look at it, Jim Ross. I can't program 3 people with 2 minds. Because it's the era of the web and DOA.
Yes. Although, as of on the time of recording, a happy belated birthday to Paul Erling, apparently.
Oh,
He
yes.
just had his birthday, apparently, a couple days ago.
Oh, how old is Paul Ellering now?
Apparently 72 years old.
Oh, you know what that means, Dane? In
What?
2022, we had a nice birthday.
Yes.
Okay. Let's go to Scott for the main event. Amazingly, even seeing what a disaster the entire angle had turned into by this point, they still went with it as the main event to close the show. So we get the big elaborate entrance on both sides, with Paul Bearer using a magic herb with a flashlight in it to summon the real Undertaker. And then after 15 minutes of Gaga, the match begins and it just dies. You can immediately see that Mark is taller than Brian Lee, and looks nothing like him, and the illusion is gone. However, for those who have trouble keeping track, the real one wears purple and the fake one wears gray. Undertaker slowly goes after Paul Bearer, but Undertaker suplexes him in and then throws him out as the crowd is dead silent. Back in, Redneck Taker does his half-assed rope walk, but gets slammed off the top and rope walked in turn. It's like looking in a mirror, like a foggy mirror after you've already been showering for a few minutes. They slug it out, and Brian Lee clearly moves totally differently from Mark Calloway. But Undertaker takes him in an awkward bump to the floor, so they do a slow-motion brawl. Back in, Faker with the chokeslam, but Taker sits up. So a tombstone follows, and Taker no-sells that as well. A second attempt is reversed, and 2 more tombstones thankfully end this bullshit storyline for good at 9:07. A complete farce from start to finish, capped off with one of the worst pay-per-view main events in history, -3 stars.
Oof. I wouldn't be as harsh as. I mean, yeah, the crowd. I mean, even Vince kind of said the crowd is in a hushed tone in the spectacle that they're watching. But I don't know. Like I said, -3, 2 stars away from Jenna Maraska versus Sharmell. Bad?
No.
No.
This is like a dud match, to be quite honest.
I mean, we're still at least another decade away from Mark really kicking into high gear with the work rate and stuff like that, and then kind of toning down the theatrics a bit, like in terms of the cinema fantastique with all the druids. And although this is probably one of my favorite Undertaker entrances, next to up with there with WrestleMania 14 and WrestleMania 20.
Oh yeah, definitely. Okay, so the Undertaker has been put in the casket, and Macho's gonna wrap this up and say thank you for watching. But then Macho's like, oh, wait a minute, we're gonna go backstage to Leslie and George. And so Leslie and George are at the casket, And Leslie's like, ladies and gentlemen, inside the coffin is the true Prince of Darkness. And they open the casket, and there's nothing inside. But George spots something in the distance. And what is it? It's a case.
A gold case.
A gold briefcase. It's closed. George says, you solved the mystery. And Leslie's like, okay. The case is closed.
The case is closed, yeah. Yeah, that is it. And good night, folks, and see you at the next pay-per-view Survivor Series, I guess.
Yeah. So, okay, what are our thoughts about this show? I mean, the cage match is great.
Yeah,
the women's match is good.
Great. Yeah. Everything else was just pretty much shows where we're going in terms of the mid-card during the new generation, where it's going to be pretty dire. I mean, after this, because I know we get Taker going after Yokozuna again for revenge, and then we're going to have the next year or so of $1 Million Corporation playing Keep Away with the Urn with Taker, and
oh yeah, that shit.
Yeah, and then Jarrett is serviceable, but he can't do too much with a 500-pound lump in Mabel. Usual good stuff from the Click with Razor and Diesel. And then now we got the building of dissension between Diesel and Shawn Michaels, which will play out over the next few months. Taker versus Taker was all right for the spectacle it was, but I think I'm glad it closed out the show as opposed, because I think if the cage match and this was switched around, I think it would have definitely hurt the crowd for the cage match.
Yeah. So that does it for SummerSlam 1994. So, Dane, in our next episode, well, in honor of the Philadelphia Eagles beginning the defense of their Super Bowl championship, in our next episode of the Squared Circle Time Machine, we're going to go to Philadelphia and look at a house show from the Philadelphia Spectrum in 1983.
Wow, the Spectrum.
Yeah, from Prism. And we're going to get a big main event, Dane. We're going to have a 10-man tag.
10 men in one tag?
Yeah, in one tag match, yes.
That should be great.
Yeah, as Gorilla always says, they're going to have to reinforce the ring for that one.
Mm-hmm.
So in our next episode of the Squared Circle Time Machine, we're going to go back to February 1983 and look at the WWF Philadelphia Spectrum house show from that month. And that's going to be coming up right here on the Squared Circle Time Machine. For myself, Greg, that was Dane, and we'll see you with that episode coming very soon. Have a good rest of your day, everybody.
Matthews, stake out that end. Adcock, check for anyone suspicious looking.
Ed, Frank, what are you doing here?
I just came from the stockyards, trading shots with one of Ludwig's goons. They're planning on doing it tonight, Ed. Here. That's why they were trying to knock me off.
Right. We'd better be on the lookout.
Right. Excuse me, ma'am. Security? All right. Just relax. Take it easy. Nothing's gonna happen.
Hey, I didn't do anything.
Oh, yeah? Well, how about this?
You think we were born yesterday? You didn't do anything, huh?
I've got rights. Look,
Look, Ed. He's got a picture of your wife.
Ethel.
All right. Anyone else here seeing his wife?
That's all right. That's okay, Frank. Let's get in the hall.
And